The Daily Show and kind of a comedian pundit, Charlamagne the God. He calls himself God. Talk about a self-made man who worships his creator. We're calling him Charlamagne the fraud, Charlamagne the odd. I was told not to call anyone God but God, so I'll call him Charlamagne the Gosh. Welcome to Doug in Exile. This is where the happy patriots are. This is Trump pummeling the media. But Charlamagne the God was on Laura Trump, Trump's daughter-in-law's show. We're going to go into all the controversy and why this still shows that Republicans and Trump, conservatives, MAGA are winning, and Democrats, they have no footing. They have nothing. They have Charlamagne, a false god at best. I think the God category might be a stretch. I haven't seen him create anything. He sure doesn't, he has to be a creator if you're a god. He hasn't created any laughs over at the Daily Show. I don't think I've ever laughed at that guy. Here's Donald Trump, the very wonderful and talented Laura Trump, whose show is big ratings success, put racist sleazebag Charlamagne the God. True, he is a racist sleazebag, Charlamagne the God. Why is he allowed to use the word God, Trump asks, when describing himself? Can anyone imagine the uproar there would be if I used that nickname? Is Trump, has he ever impersonated a deity? I mean, here's one where he called himself, here he's called himself the chosen one.
So somebody had to do it. I am the chosen one. Somebody had to do it.
I had to do it. I'm the chosen one, he said. So he's the chosen one, maybe, but that's not calling him. Can you imagine if Trump called himself Trump the God? He didn't like that. Or Muhammad the prophet. There's another one. I don't know if I'd even call myself Doug the human resources, but I'm trying to think of the highest rank that I would claim. Barely literate comic book artist is my title that I claim. He's a low IQ individual, true, has no idea what words are coming out of his mouth and knows nothing about me or what I've done. So here's Trump. Here's how Trump sees himself. And if Charlamagne the Odd wants to be knowledgeable about Trump, he could repeat some of these, like just ending 5 wars. It was 6 last week, so I don't know how it came down to 5, including a 31-year bloodbath between Republic of Congo and Rwanda. That's Trump already doing more for the black community than Charlamagne the Gosh has ever done, where 7 million people have died and there was no end in sight. He didn't know that, or India and Pakistan, or wiping out Iran's nuclear capabilities, or closing the horrendous open border, or creating the greatest economy where prices and inflation have come way down, or where stupid and corrupt Joe Biden set the record for doing the worst job as president ever. But this dope Charlamagne would vote for Sleepy Joe or Kamala. That's what he said. He'd still vote for him. Remember, 1 year ago, our country was dead, and it's the hottest country anywhere in the world now. And I agree with that. I think he makes good points there. We're gonna let me do a little more of Charlamagne here. So here's Charlamagne with Trump's daughter-in-law, Laura. Trump is the president of the United States, one of the most powerful people in the world. And Charlamagne the God, in his defense, Charlamagne the Gosh, is merely a comedian over on barely watched Comedy Central. Okay, and he has his own podcast that is very popular. I have done a number of videos on him just because I think a lot of people go to him for opinion. I don't think it's that popular. I have not seen him make a cogent. I don't think he has a cogent worldview. Like Van Jones is a genius compared to this guy.
I give you a lot of credit because you have had me on your show. You have people with differing viewpoints on a lot of different things on.
Hold on. I wonder what Charlamagne the Gosh thinks of when he sees Laura Trump with a cross of the Son of God, the triune God on her chest. Does he go, that's about me? Or is he a pagan entity of some kind?
Your show. And Charlamagne, I think we need more of that.
Absolutely.
You know, you look though at things like, take a look at these numbers. This is The View. The View had since January, from January until July, look at that, 0 conservatives and 102 left-leaning guests. And then listen to—
Is that real?
That's real. And this is
That's news. to Charlamagne the God? I thought gods were omnipotent and omniscient. I thought they were all knowing. This is like going to a fortune teller, you know, when they ask you a question and you say, well, don't you know? Aren't you a fortune teller? Look, there's the numbers. He looked at that The View had 102 left-leaning guests and 0 conservatives. And Charlamagne the God said, is that true? Well, you're the God. Shouldn't you know?
Left-leaning guests, and then listen to.
Is that real?
That's real, and this is ABC News. And listen.
Okay, here he is on Gutfeld embarrassing himself.
He is a threat to democracy.
Really?
I think that he led an attempted coup in this country. You know, he said he wanted to suspend the Constitution to overthrow the results of an election.
Now, what's really weird is that it was the Democrats that overthrew the Constitution to overthrow the results of an election, try to get Trump off a ballot. Hillary and other Democrats for hours went on and on after 2016, questioning Trump's win, blaming it on the Russia hoax that they knew was false. So Charlamagne, even the reasons he gives against Trump, I'm not buying any of them. He's really just another liberal, just following their religion, their false religion. They probably do really think he's God.
At the least, that's just not a patriotic thing to say.
I don't believe that.
He absolutely said that on
I will
Truth
look
Social.
that up.
He did.
He wanted to suspend the Constitution.
He said we should suspend the Constitution to overthrow the results of an election. He said it on Truth Social, then said he didn't say it. So I read Project 25.
Project 20. It's our favorite, guys. Project 2025. It always comes up. The problem is Charlamagne read Project 2025, but Trump did not.
Those guys that's like, I don't know if he will necessarily leave. I hope he does. As you said.
He hopes he leaves office. I'm for him staying around a little longer. I'm okay with it. Okay, hold on. We got another Charlamagne quote here. I'm just going to keep railing him over his own words in the past until he's just a puddle.
I think that traditional conservatives are going to take the Republican Party back.
Lord, please let us religious conservatives take the Republican Party back. He's at least acknowledging that we're not in control now. And that's a problem. I think religious conservatives should definitely take the party back. I think we would do even more good. Trump has been a huge step in that direction, and he's not even a religious conservative, but he's opened a door for us, given us a voice, given us some wins. We have a lot in common as Republicans, both the religious Republicans and the non-religious Republicans. We found a lot in common in MAGA, and it's, you know, and I'm okay with that. You have to build a majority coalition to win.
I think there's a political coup going on right now in the Republican.
Wait. Is the religious conservatives, are we running a coup in the Republican Party? I didn't get my marching orders. Where's the religious conservatives where we're performing a coup on the party? Because all I see are I think the Republican Party is getting taken over more by secularists. As a Christian, I'm trying to weigh in and make my voice heard. Hey, I'm here. We're here, guys. We're a majority. And so I'm making it's not a coup. It's a debate.
Republican Party that people aren't paying attention to.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, I think that this Epstein thing is going to be a way for traditional conservatives to take their party back.
Wait, now he's bringing up Epstein. Guys, he's checking all the Democrat boxes, trying to get us off on Epstein. And he's saying now we're trying to take our party back by doing Epstein. Why? All I know is Charlamagne the Gosh got his talking points, Project 2025 and Epstein. He has to distract us with Epstein.
I really do. I think that they know this is the issue that has gotten the base riled up. The MAGA base isn't letting this issue go. And for the first time, they know they can, probably take their party back and not piss off the MAGA base.
It's not the religious I hope it's not religious conservatives dumb enough to fall for the Democrat plan to stay focused on the Epstein files. But I know that's what the Democrats are all rolling out. They're demanding we stay on the Epstein files. But wait, here's a member of the Black community. I'm just a white guy, so I like hearing from the Black community, my conservative MAGA Black people that are not buying this garbage from Charlamagne. Watch this.
So look, we're 6 months into President Trump's second term in office. Now, I know you've been critical. You've had your bones to pick with President Trump. If you took his name out of it and looked solely at what has happened, the policies and the things that have changed around the world and in our country over the first 6 months, how do you rate his presidency so far?
I wouldn't give it a good rating.
Why not?
Simply
That's Anton Daniels there with a hat that says God loves all. Just crack. He had to laugh at Charlamagne. I hear you, man.
You can't take this guy serious. Look, we're going to get into it, but this is what the problem is with liberals and Democrats is that they refuse to acknowledge and they are not objective. And they know that Trump has been winning in every single sense of the word.
Yep.
But this is what they're standing on. But let's go ahead and hear what he got to say, y'all.
because, the least of us are still being impacted the worst. Like when you look at something like, the big, beautiful bill, that's something that, I'm going to benefit from because of the tax bracket that I'm in. But, there's going to be so many people that's hurt by that bill. And, anything that, takes away Medicaid from people and is going to put people in a worse financial situation than, they were previously in, I'm not for. And, he ran on that. Like he ran on, the economy. He ran on saying that, grocery prices are going to be down and,
That has happened.
No.
Inflation is trending down. And by the way, Medicaid, we want to make sure that people who are not actual recipients or shouldn't be getting Medicaid are off of Medicaid so it can actually benefit.
How can you say no? No. Yes, inflation is down. It's 100% down. Under the Biden administration, inflation was at over, in some cases, depending on what time and where you were inside of the country, but overall, inflation was above 9 and 10%.
This is the story of two black men, Charlamagne and Anton Daniels. And see, they're both looking at the statistics. And Charlamagne says that Trump's inflation is bad, and he did not say that Biden's inflation was bad. And then the other black man says, yeah, gas prices is down, inflation's down, Trump's economy is doing great. What's the difference? It's not their skin color, guys. Their skin color is the same. They're brown. The difference is one's a Democrat and can't deal with facts and reality where it goes against their party. And that's the difference. So hats off to him. And then finally, we're going to go to the Breakfast Club. This is Donkey of the Day goes to President Donald Trump by Charlamagne on this morning's Breakfast Club. He's responding to Trump calling him racist and all that. This is Charlamagne's response. I have to give him a fair shot here.
I was on Laura Trump's show, My View, on Fox this past weekend. Drop one of clues bombs for Laura Trump. She's been a guest on Breakfast Club before, so I had no problem showing up to her program. I'm one of those silly rabbits who still believes in the First Amendment. Okay, freedom of speech. Thankfully,
okay, we have to listen to Charlamagne the God. Give him a shot on this. Give him a chance. And he says he's one of those silly rabbits that believes in the First Amendment. You do not belong in the Democrat Party. If you do believe in the First Amendment, congratulations.
Laura is a Trump who still believes in freedom of speech because her father-in-law, the 47th president of the United States of America, did not take too kindly to some things I had to say. Now,
how do you rate his presidency so far?
I wouldn't give it a good rating.
Why not?
Simply because, the least of us are still being impacted the worst. Like,
by the way, the rating, you never judge Trump in a vacuum just by himself. The comparison is, how do you judge Trump compared to what you speculate would happen with Kamala Harris?
You look at something like, the big, beautiful bill, that's something that, I'm going to benefit from because of the tax bracket that I'm in. But, there's going to be so many people that's hurt by that bill. And, anything that takes away Medicaid from people and is going to put people in a worse financial situation than, they were previously in, I'm not for.
I mean, where is the lie? Trump's big, beautiful bill is going to make the rich richer and the poor poorer. Okay.
That's not true. It's not going to make his big, beautiful bill is not going to make the poor poorer. That's where they're wrong about that. Cutting taxes, we were going to get the highest tax hike in recent history because that 60% tax rate, we would go up by 60% that was cut in Trump's original bill in 2017. It would all go back up. When all these businesses pay more taxes, the poor are the ones that get the prices passed on to them. They lose their jobs, whatever. Trump's jobs are fine. The economy is holding fine. He's about to hit interest rates. If we can get an interest rate drop from Jerome Powell, we can help the poor get better housing. And Charlamagne the God, got nothing for you. I am happy to see he and Laura Trump together on a show talking, because I think we have to keep reaching out to their side and keep talking, even if we're just making fun of them. I'm Doug, In Exile. Do you think Charlamagne, what's your name for him? Charlamagne the Gosh.